You know, it's funny you should mention that.
Hey everybody, it's David Bradley here from richmansgym.com, and this is the Rich Man's Gym Podcast, a personal development podcast dedicated to strength and conditioning for body, mind, and spirit. Now, if you, like me, are looking to level up and then expand into your true potential, well, my friend, you're in the right place. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get started. Ooh, and hey, listen, if you're getting some value from the podcast, please and thank you. Share the sucker out into cyberspace so that other folks can benefit from it too. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. That way you don't miss an episode. And now, quick word from some of the sponsors. Did you know that over 92% of people in the United States are deficient in one or more vitamins and minerals? Check this out. 90% of Americans are deficient in potassium. 70% of Americans are deficient in calcium. 80% of Americans are deficient in vitamin E. 50% of Americans are deficient in vitamins A, C, and magnesium. But here's the kicker. More than 50% of Americans are deficient in vitamin D. In fact, over 80% of patients who got COVID were deficient in vitamin D, and up to 82% of critically ill patients are deficient in vitamin C. Why? Unfortunately, the foods we eat now just don't have enough of the vitamins and minerals our bodies need to maximize immune function, strengthen organs, and perform at our best. The reality? We need to supplement, and to make sure your body has all the nutrients it needs, check out richmansgym.com/livegood. That's richmansgym.com/livegood, richmansgym.com/livegood. Does your debit card give you anything back when you use it? Introducing the Transact card, the only debit card you'll want to use moving forward. With your Transact card, every swipe you make turns into extra cash in your pocket. Whether you're shopping for groceries, dining out with friends, or booking your dream vacation, the Transact card rewards you for every purchase you make. Here's how it works. Use your Transact card for everyday purchases, and for every $1 you spend, you earn a matching Z-Buck. Z-Bucks can be redeemed in Transact Card's Z-Club for virtually anything, from everyday items to exclusive vacation packages. Imagine the possibilities. Treat yourself to that new gadget, indulge in a day spa, or simply save up for a rainy day. With Transact Card, you're more in control of your finances than ever before. Say goodbye to complicated reward programs and hello to the card that puts cash back in your wallet. Set up your Transact card today. Double your buying power and start building financial momentum on everything you buy. Visit whatistransactcard.com for more information and to get started right away. That's whatistransactcard.com. Transact with a Z. What is TRANZACT card.com. Today's episode, I'm going to be challenging you to make a decision about which Thor you're going to be. I got Thor's Gym. I got my Thor's Gym t-shirt on, but you got to make a decision about what kind of Thor you are going to be. And before I get into that, though, as promised, as always, let me just get a quick Grace update for you. Grace! We'll do our quote of the day, and then boom, we're going to get into today's topic. All right, so hey, last time we met, Grace was kicking my butt. I shaved some time off again, finally, thank the Lord. I got it down to about 5 minutes and 16 seconds. Which is lower than I've ever done it before. Would consider it a PR. However, considering the whooping I've been taking over the last couple of weeks, I'm just going to view this one as progress and not get too cocky on it. So obviously I'm going to try and get down to sub 5 minutes, and I'm going to keep you posted on that. So thank you for those of you that are cheering me along as I go through this Grace CrossFit workout every 2 weeks. I'm going for it, and I'm just trying to get as low, do it faster and faster and faster and faster. So thank you for cheering me on. I did change up the training program a little bit, started doing this workout on Mondays instead of on Thursdays, resting a little bit, active recovery on Sundays, so I feel like I'm coming into it a little bit more energy, a little bit more strength, a little bit better recovered. So I'll keep you posted. Thank you again for cheering me on. Now, quote of the day! Yeah, quote of the day. Okay, so because we're going to be talking about Thor, I thought I should go find a solid quote from one of the Thor movies that would be inspirational and motivational for all of us going into the week. So here's the quote. It comes from the first movie, Thor, and it was a line delivered to Thor from Selvig when they're sitting in the bar and they're hashing things out. That's Stellan Skarsgård's character. They're hashing some stuff out, and he says to Thor, this. Anyone who's ever going to find his way in this world has to start by admitting he doesn't know. Boom. Okay, so there's your quote of the day. Think about where you're at in your life right now. Where do you want to be? And then the big question is, what do you not know about getting there? You have to recognize there's some stuff you don't know, because if you knew it, you'd be there already, right? So it's about having some humility to really go, hey, what do I not know about this? I asked the entire audience a couple weeks ago for help with grace. I felt like I was stuck. I needed help. I got some advice from some people. I implemented it, and it helped, right? So if you're going to find your way in this world or improve or do something new, the first thing you got to do is recognize there's going to be stuff you don't know, and then be willing to go out and find out what that is. So that brings us to today's episode, which is really, which Thor are you going to be? So the last Thor movie that came out, this was a couple months ago now at this point, Love and Thunder. As Marvel fans know, there are two versions of the Mighty Thor right now, especially in the MCU, both on the inside and the outside, right? So you got the yoked, ripped, point break Thor from like the Avengers. Then we have Lebowski Thor. And we can also see how Thor's outside was dramatically impacted or affected by his inside. Because by the time we get to Avengers Endgame, we have Lebowski Thor. And we have a man who has slipped into deep depression. He's filled with grief. He's got a ton of regret. Let's list off all the things that's gone wrong for Thor at this point. What do we got? Mother murdered. His father died. His girlfriend's totally AWOL. His brother's been murdered, or so we think. He loses most of the Asgardian population to his sister, of all things, right? And to Thanos. Takes care of the rest. He fails to kill Thanos with Stormbreaker. Should have gone for the head, right? Half of all life in the universe is murdered. So those are some heavy weights to bear. I mean, even for a demigod. So in fact, through the mythical and spiritual realm, we are always told stories about beings with great power who still suffer, and they wrestle with some very, very human burdens and challenges. Because one of the things that makes the MCU so special, at least to me, you may have a different opinion on this, but one of the things that makes the MCU so special to me is that it does confront real issues like anxiety and depression and grief and loss and death. And they also show us evolution and growth of character. Like, how do these beings, superhuman or supernatural beings, how do they overcome obstacles? How do they confront their fears? How do they find a way to win? I love the Tony Stark journey for this very reason. I mean, even the good guys experience fear. That's important. Because the thing about fear is we all experience it. All of us. And the thing about loss and the thing about grief, we all experience it. Which really should bode the question, what is the difference between a hero and a coward? So cowards, they lack the courage to do or endure dangerous and unpleasant things. Whereas the hero takes the right action despite the fear. Courage cannot exist without fear. You have to have fear in order for courage to exist. Think about that. In fact, think about something that you do right now that's easy, but in the beginning was hard and scary. Maybe it was learning how to drive, swim, speak in public. If you're a salesperson like me, make phone calls, make cold calls, call some random stranger and pitch them your deal. It's all scary at first, but somehow you push through the fear and you did it anyway. That is the stuff that forges the hero. That's the stuff that legends are made from. Okay, so back to Thor. Actually, back to you. You, like Thor, you have a choice. In fact, we all do. And, when faced with loss, grief, regret, fear, we will either hide in a shack, drink beer, eat shitty food, play Xbox with Korg, or, as we see in the Love and Thunder trailer and then the actual movie itself, we start using giant chains as battle ropes and start getting after it. So fear can stand for two things. Forget everything and run, F.E.A.R, or face everything and rise. Which one will you be? Because by the end of Endgame, Thor has made a choice. He's found solace in a second chance conversation with his mother. And, courtesy of his hammer that comes back, realizes he's still worthy to possess the power of Thor. So the question and the challenge that I want to ask you right now is, which Thor are you currently? Are you Point Break Thor or are you Lebowski Thor? Are you facing everything and rising, or are you forgetting everything and running? I mean, technically we could be both Thors in one day, you know? One minute you're summoning thunder and lightning and you're getting ready for work, and then we get stuck in traffic. You show up late, an appointment cancels on you, and then we spend the rest of the day in Lebowski land. Sound familiar? Are you worthy? Worthy. Let's look at the definition for just a second. Having or showing the qualities or abilities that merit recognition in a specific or specified way. Worth. Let's drop the Y there. The word worth. The value equivalent to that of someone or something under consideration. The level at which someone or something deserves to be valued or rated. Let's add a word. Self-worth. A sense of one's own value as a human being. I think it's safe to say that we all struggle with feeling worthy at times. Our sense of self-worth, why is that hard to pronounce right now? Our sense of self-worth can ebb and flow. And at times, typically, when we get brutally honest with each other, we can trace it back to two key things. When our self-worth is ebbing and flowing, we can typically trace it back to two key things. Decisions and behaviors. Our self-worth is a manifestation of the decisions we make and our subsequent behaviors. And those decisions and those behaviors, when repeated, gain momentum. And then an omentum. See what I just did there? Okay. The flip side also happens, though. Whatever you don't repeat loses momentum and it atrophies. In other words, self-worth is earned and it must be maintained. So here's your key takeaways. Key takeaways from Love and Thunder. Do you love yourself enough to say no to the things that make you feel unworthy? Now, if the answer to that question was no, then fix that. Next, can you forgive yourself for the times in your past where you did things that left you feeling unworthy? If the answer to that is no, fix that too. Third thing is, how disciplined is your diet and nutrition? Abs are made in the kitchen, not the gym. Muscle is broken down at the gym, is rebuilt in the kitchen. Fourth question is, do your workout routines tap into your potential? Do you test yourself? Do you push yourself every single day? Now, I know we've been talking about Marvel and Thor, but because Disney owns Marvel and Star Wars, I'm going to throw a Yoda quote in here at the end. Training I have for you. Okay. So I'd like you to identify 3 mindsets and or behaviors that negatively impact your self-worth. And then write them down somewhere. Make a commitment right now to stop thinking or acting that way. Identify 3 things that negatively affect your self-worth. Write them down, and then make a commitment right now to either stop thinking or acting that way. Then I would like you to identify the positive mindsets and behaviors that you can replace those things that sap and tap your self-worth. Start those mindsets and those behaviors right now. Start writing those things down every single day. The more positive things, start writing those things down every single day, and do it often so that they sink in and it becomes your norm. It literally replaces the other thing. And then lastly, it doesn't take a genius inventor and a billionaire industrialist to know that Chris Hemsworth, clearly puts in the work. And he's incredibly disciplined with his diet and his nutrition. So if you're looking for an immediate boost to your self-worth, that you will start to see every time you look in the mirror. Change up your workouts. Change up your nutrition. Set goals for both. Have targets that you can shoot for on every workout. This is why Grace is becoming so valuable to me. Start saying no to cravings for food. Start saying yes to things like more water. And then don't let anyone convince you or even try to convince you that you're not in control. Because you are. We are. Our worth is earned. Now go earn it. And that's a wrap for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for staying to the end. Drop a comment below on what you're going to do with all the stuff I just gave you. Quick reminder to share and subscribe. This is Rich Man's Gym, strength and conditioning for body, mind, and spirit. Train anywhere, and I'll talk to you soon.